we begin with the latest on the Isle of Palms shooting that left 6 injured. Authorities are now combing through video footage that has been sent in by the public, and we have learned several of those victims have been released from the hospital and 2 others arrested in connection. 18-year-old Sean Alexander Goods Martin was arrested and charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. According to police, he has since posted bond. Authorities also arrested and booked an unnamed 16-year-old for similar charges. Their name has not yet been released. That's because they are a juvenile. But police still cannot say at this point that they have successfully apprehended the person or persons responsible for the shooting. Cameron Bopp joins us live from the Isle of Palms. And Cameron, you were at the scene last night where we heard from authorities both then and earlier today. What is their plan going forward?
Well, Blair, IOP police along with the Charleston County Sheriff's Office updated the public first thing this morning, and then shortly after that, City Council held an emergency meeting. Now, the general consensus, they say, is that what happened last night, the shooting, that's not the Isle of Palms everyone knows and loves. In fact, several people even nodded to that deadly spring break shooting just a few weeks ago on Miami Beach.
There was certainly an IOP that was unrecognizable to me, and it reminded me something more like the videos that I saw coming out of Miami Beach spring break and the chaos there.
Now, aside from acknowledging how the shooting could have been a lot worse, city and county officials commended the swift response by law enforcement for keeping the situation from escalating any further than it did. Police say 2 fights broke out. They were responding to those around 5 p.m. yesterday when the shooting happened. We're also told by officials yesterday was senior skip day, and several Low Country School District students took part in that. And that's why there were more beachgoers yesterday. Now, with so many students taking part in that and ultimately getting injured in that shooting, Charleston County Sheriff Kristen Graziano said today if school districts knew young people would ultimately skip class and go to the beach, they should have alerted authorities of that. U.S. Representative Nancy Mace was also at today's emergency meeting. She lives on Isle of Palms, and as a gun owner herself, she says she's working on bills to combat gun violence, but there's a more complex issue that she also wants to work on.
We have to give our kids purpose. No matter the color of their skin, their zip code, whether they come from a broken home or not, we want to give them a promising future, to know that they're going to have the skill sets to get a good job that will pay their bills, that they don't have to go into a gang, that they don't have to commit crimes, they don't have to shoot at our police. That is not the future, and that future is grim. Our schools have to be a part of this conversation.
Now, something that we've been hearing from several people who live here on the island is that incidents like last night could potentially happen again, especially as capacity becomes more of a concern, as law enforcement and officials let more and more people onto the island, especially during these busy spring and summer days. We're hearing concerns from residents that law enforcement may not have all the resources, the capacity to contain that amount of people. We know yesterday an EMS unit got into a crash on the IOP connector, shutting down the inbound side for hours yesterday while they were responding to this shooting. But of course, that's just part of the long road ahead. City officials say that long road ahead of difficult conversations that they need to have with the state and other local law enforcement agencies. But of course, stick with us here at Live 5 News. We'll keep you updated as we move along. For now, reporting live on Isle of Palms, Cameron Bopp, Live 5 News.
Thank you, Cameron. And we reached out to the largest tri-county school districts. Berkeley and Charleston County officials say they were not made aware of any senior skip day, but CCSD says they stand by to support law enforcement if any of their students were involved. And we have yet to hear back from Dorchester School District 2, where just this week 3 students were found to have loaded weapons in a pair of schools there. Now, in total, officials say at least 17 local and state agencies responded yesterday and are continuing to investigate. If you have any tips or video of the incident, Isle of Palms police are asking you to call their tip line, which you can find on your screen. And you can also find more details on live5news.com.